Hey everybody, I am such a diehard that I'm going to give you a rain gutter grow system update in the rain. I'm so excited that it's raining. For one primary reason, my rain barrel that I water this garden with was just about empty. We actually had to hook it up to city water the other day to fill it up because these tomato plants are so thirsty that when I came down and their gutters were empty, I went through 60 gallons of water in one day. Holy buckets, folks. That's a lot of water. And it's going to be so worth it. You can see these tomatoes in the front row. These are the purple Russian tomatoes. It wasn't something that I chose, but something that they sent me as a free seed packet when I ordered from the Baker Creek Seed Company. They're looking a little wilty and better today than they have in recent days because it has been overcast today and sprinkling off and on. And they just, I think the hot sun is a little hard on them. And you can kind of tell I replaced one in this row with an extra purple Russian. You can tell it's the one here on the end that's kind of droopy, whereas the rest of the tomatoes in this row are like, oh yeah, big and bad monsters. I have gone through on each tomato plant in the last few days, and I have plucked the suckers off, the little stems that grow in the armpit of other stems. And I have also pruned primarily anything that would touch the soil and the lower branches, and trying to make all the production up higher. So far so good on these bags. They're just a disposable grocery bag made of fabric in a laundry basket. Everything seems to be growing excellent. As you can see, I have blossoms on several plants. I'm torn. I don't know whether I should pull the first blossoms and wait for the second set. I've heard pros and cons both ways. What's your opinion? Those were yellow pear, by the way, along with that purple Russian. These are Dad's Sunset. These are the orange tomatoes that are supposed to be lower acid. And it is so appropriate for me that they called it Dad's Sunset, because my dad has a trench tongue, is a condition they call it, where he actually has grooves in his tongue, and foods with high acids tend to burn. And I have a little bit of it myself. Fresh pineapple burns my tongue. So these are called Dad's Sunset, and they're a low acid orange tomato, and they're growing like trees. Look at the stalk on these things. Oh, they have blossoms too. I'm so excited. I sound like Sarah at Living Traditions. You ever go and listen to Kevin and Sarah? They have an amazing YouTube channel. They will educate you on all things homesteading, especially goats and meat rabbits and gardening. Wow, they garden, those folks do. Okay. These are looking awesome too. Look at the size. I mean, it's like a tree. I couldn't be happier with how these tomatoes are looking. Okay, I have to admit, I'm going to show you the silly little things. These little pots have tiny green things in them. I'm praying that the tiny green things in them are the ground cherry seeds that did not grow and did not grow and did not grow. And I had tucked them away. Honestly, I had put them, in my hoop shed. I was just going to use the soil for later. I didn't think they were going to grow until, see, I had put them in with this little stinker. Now this is loofah gourds. And I've got 4 little plants there that I need to get out in buckets. I had put that away because nothing was growing. Under my grow lights in the house, I tried and tried. Finally, I stuck it on a rack here in my hoop shed. And I came out the next day, and lo and behold, I had growth. They needed to be outside. So, these are beefsteak tomatoes. The one in the middle here has the most blossoms on it, and it has had the most blossoms on it. And I am wagering it's going to be the first one to give me fruit. And they're enormous and sturdy and stocky and tall. Tomatoes, tomatoes. The rest of the tomatoes are over here. These were the extra plants that, I mean, I did give a bunch away. I really did. But I was so delighted that the very first time ever in my life that I started plants from seed, everything grew. I thought, well, I'll plant a whole bunch, and a few of them will grow, and I'll have a nice little garden. Oh, how funny. I have 37 tomato plants going on of 6 different varieties. These are the extras. And over here, these are the last 2 tomato plants I'm going to show you. And yeah, everything's growing. Everything's green. Everything's lovely. Excuse our ground cover. We did a little bit of roundup out here the other day. We just, we want to mow what we want to mow. We want to keep the grass and the weeds from growing where we want to grow a garden. These, I believe, are my green beans. I'm guessing these are green, and they're growing like mad, like mad. We've had several days of 80 plus degrees, and wow. These, I believe, are the butterwax beans. They're also a string bean, and they're golden. And my peas are doing real well. They've been enjoying the warm weather too, and they've been climbing. These little curly cues, they're like super grippers, You put them up on there. Yep, make a liar out of me, go ahead. Anyway, the little tendrils, the antennas, they just wrap themselves around these panels and go to town. All right. Now, these are lima beans. And they seem to be a natural climber, too. And, they're not as super healthy as the green beans down the line. But as you can see, following this one up, it has grown just about as tall as I am. This one vine. So I'm anxious to see how the lima beans turn out, since it's my very first time. And these look, oh, here, let's get this little stinker back over here. We'll help guide that one. These are the purple potted pole beans. And Jess over at Roots and Refuge Farm, she has purple potted pole beans right now that are just full. She has baskets full of them that she's already picking and eating. And that's because she lives in Central Arkansas. And so her garden is at least a month ahead of mine. And she plants directly into the ground. Oh, come on, little baby. Get over there. Start climbing. All right, so we've looked at all the tomatoes. We've looked at all the beans and peas. And I'll show you where my peppers are at and tell you about the education that I have received. Now, these rows in front of me here, these 4 rows, all of these pepper plants are growing in potting mix. And, we know that that's what we use and that's what we need. And over here, some of these peppers are a smaller plant to begin with. But the 11 pots that you see green ribbon on the handle are potting soil rather than potting mix. The last time Bubba went to the garden center at our local Walmart store, the lady in charge of the department convinced him, and I understand, You know, she was trying to make a sale and trying to help him out. And he was trying to get the stuff that his wife wanted because she wanted to get her plants in the buckets. She sold him potting soil, telling him the only difference is perlite. And I had a bag of perlite. So I mixed perlite in with the potting soil. And I can now tell you, by personal evidence, the difference between potting soil and potting mix is that potting mix will wick water and potting soil will not. Potting soil does not draw the water up from the rain gutter through the net pot. It simply does not. The water runs down through whatever the root grabs. When I water from the top is what waters the plant, but nothing comes up from the bottom, which is the entire idea of using the rain gutter grow system. So my sweet man went back to the store, got me potting mix that I need, and these 11 buckets with green ribbons are going to be repotted. And we will use that potting soil in beds like over there, you know. And I do have some flower beds coming up too. Oh, heavenly days, would you look at that? Would you look at that? This plant is tiny. And guess what? We have peppers on. Can you believe it? I'm in disbelief on that tiny little plant. Look. I think it is. It has to be. It must be. Blooms that will be peppers rather than leaves. Wow. So I've been watering from the top, and today the good Lord is watering them from the top for me. And I hope it just keeps going. I'm looking for more rain than they're forecasting overnight, because my barrel needs to be filled. 60 gallons in one day, folks. That blew my little mind. Oh, we're going to get over here. My birdhouse gourds, some are doing exceedingly well, and some are not. It appears they're being eaten by something. These two. And this one, not too bad, not too bad. This one looks awesome. New leaves coming. This one, yeah, something's been chewing on my plant. And this, for heavenly days, I planted 2 of them in here, and all of a sudden I've got 3. Like, where did that come from? I didn't put 3 plants in here. You know, I transplanted plants that were in the house. How did a 3rd plant come up out of heaven knows where? You know, I probably shook loose the potting mix that they were growing in on top of this bucket, and that seed must have been in there. Anyhow, I think I'm going to do some moving around, you know. Why have 3 healthy plants in 1 bucket and this little dude that's dying over here? So that looks like another project for tomorrow. And my dad educated me that many plants, when they grow, he gave a name to these first oval leaves. They have a specific name. And like in the lima beans, you know, when the seed grew up and became the first 2 round leaves, and then the other permanent leaves came on, Dad gave it a name. Of course he knew what it was. You know, my dad's an ag man. Okay, this is an update on our rain gutter grow system. We currently have 35 buckets with peppers. A few have double, and they're the ones, primarily, especially these, that I am going to repot. These plants are going to be small anyway, even though they are in potting soil, and, you know, they're not wicking the water from down below. These are the habanero peppers, and last year and this year, I've come to know that habanero peppers grow slowly. They do. They grow so much more slowly than the rest of the peppers that I have grown. And most of these peppers, except for the poblano and a couple of the bell peppers, the rest of these I started from seeds that I had last year that I had saved. Oh, the fun we have when we dig into a new project. All right, folks. This is the rain gutter grow system. This is the crazy bucket garden in Clarksville. You know, people drive by here. You know, we're on the skirts of town. You can hear that factory over there. It's a screaming Mimi, I gotta tell you. We're on the skirts of town, and everyone in Clarksville, Iowa who walks or rides a bike or tools a golf cart around to see what everybody's up to, or rides their lawnmower to the gas station, because that is a Clarksville thing now. Riding your lawnmower to Casey's to put gas in it instead of taking a can. Or, yeah, whatever. I love my little town. It's awesome. Okay, I'm going to let you go and go get busy on some more video, but wow, is this not a fun thing? We're growing food, folks. God bless you for joining me. May the good Lord, who blesses me each and every day of my life, bless you as well, today and always. Amen.